Hello everyone, Dr. Tobisch here again with Whitefish Chiropractic. And in this short video, I'm going to talk about another common condition that we see in the clinic that can cause sciatica. And this condition is known as Piriformis syndrome. So the sciatic nerve exits the lumbar spine, then travels deep down the backside of the hip, into the leg, and down to the foot. Well, deep in the backside of the hip, kind of between your belt line and your back pocket, lives a little muscle known as the piriformis. And in most people, the sciatic nerve travels just underneath that piriformis muscle. So when people are dealing with short piriformis syndrome, this muscle has become short and tight, which leads to compression of the sciatic nerve underneath it. And when this happens, people will commonly feel irritation and pain in that backside of the hip, and then you can feel nerve pain down the leg along the trail of the sciatic nerve. So that could be things like numbness, pins and needles, and even shooting pains down the back of the leg. So now that we've talked a little bit about piriformis syndrome, next up I'm going to show you a little test that you can do to see if your symptoms may be coming from a short, tight piriformis. Then after that, we'll go over some stretches and rehab exercises that you can do at home to start getting some relief and get you started down your road to recovery. All right guys, our test for short piriformis syndrome is going to be passive internal rotation of the hip. Basically seeing how far your hip or your leg will rotate in this way. The reason that we're doing that is when the hip is extended, the piriformis is an external rotator of your leg, makes your leg turn out this way. So if it's short and tight, it's going to make it hard for our leg to turn in the other way. So that's what we're going to check. So to get set up, you're just going to be laying face down on your belly. So we'll be set up here, and from this position, you want to bend the knee to bring your foot up. You want to just see how far your foot will turn out that way. And you want to kind of stiffen or brace the core because we don't want to see how far your hips will twist. We want the hips to stay down. We just want to see how far your leg or your foot will rotate out that way. So check that on both sides. And if it's more limited on your painful side, there's a chance that your symptoms may be coming from short piriformis syndrome. Next, I'm going to go over a simple stretch for the piriformis. To get set up, just sit nice and tall, then take your symptomatic leg and cross it over the other. Then from here, we're just going to keep your spine nice and tall in a good position, then lean forward, or you can kind of pull yourself forward. But what I don't want to do is round my back. Like I said, keep your spine in a good position, then lean and kind of pull yourself forward. That should give you a really good stretch here in the backside of the hip. You can hold that stretch for about 30 seconds. I do a couple sets of that 2 to 3 times a day. A great way to start loosening up that piriformis muscle is going to be some foam rolling. So grab a foam roller if you've got one, and then you're just going to kind of be a mean massage therapist to yourself. So we'll take the foam roller, then we're going to take that tight, tender spot in the backside of your hip. We're going to get that right on top of the foam roller. Then you can cross this leg over the other. From here, kind of ease into it, but we're going to find those tight and tender spots and just work through them. You can spend 1 to 2 minutes just taking your time, kind of smashing into that tight, tender tissue. You can do this 1 to 2 times a day.